Hey guys, what's up? Jeff with Top Star Mobile Detailing here. Today's episode, we're going to be going over how to properly detail the Tesla Cybertruck. This one actually is the Foundation Edition. Some of the things we're going to be covering in the episode today is these are notorious for getting fingerprints all down the sides here. You can see like all along the door jambs, there's a lot of fingerprints. I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks, different products that you can use to remove that, and just kind of an overall explanation of how I clean the Cybertrucks. With that being said, let's jump into it, guys. Let's get started. So guys, one of the really cool things about when you're detailing the Cybertruck, this is really kind of a neat thing here, is you don't have to use your own power to power your generator. You can actually just plug into right here and you can power all your equipment for the whole detail. So, you know, I'm joking, guys, don't do that. The owner's not gonna be happy. If you plug into their battery and drain their vehicle, they're not going to be happy about that. So don't actually do that. I was just joking with you guys, but there is a power source back there in case you were wondering. Let's move on to the rest of the vehicle. Okay guys, so one of the first things that I like to do when starting off the detail, I'm actually going to have Reyes bring the camera around into the inside so I can show you on the screen. I'm going to come around and I'll meet you guys on the inside. Hey guys, okay, so one of the first things I like to do when I get started with the Cybertruck detail, number one, you're gonna need the Tesla key, right? So you're gonna have this kind of in this proximity over here, set this somewhere over here, where you're gonna have access to the controls, the screen. What I like to do is you wanna go in and select where it says ride height. I don't know if you can see that on the screen here, right here. Yep. And you wanna select high, right? What this is going to do is going to raise the vehicle up, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to get into the wheel wells with your brushes to clean around there. So you can still clean the vehicle in medium or low. Low is going to be very difficult. If there's dirt in the wheel wells, you're not going to be able to get the brushes in there very well. So switch that over to high. Just a little tip for you guys. The next thing I like to do is go over and put it into car wash mode. So if you see this button here, well, it's already in car wash mode, but if you go into settings, it'll pull up this screen and then you'll tap car wash mode. I've already selected this, so I don't know if it's gonna let me select it again. But anyways, basically once you hit that, what that's gonna do is that's gonna stop all the sensors from triggering everything every time you walk around. So like when you're cleaning around by the charge port, if that's not selected, that's going to continue to open, close every single time. The doors are just gonna randomly pop open when you do certain motions and things like that. So having that in car wash mode is going to prevent that. I believe it also does something to the interior where it stops any water from getting into specific areas too. So two things: select the car wash mode, ride height on high. That's to get started. So that being said, I actually had to have Reyes run out to the store and pick something up really quick for me that I needed for this specific detail. I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, but I had a product that I'm going to use for this detail that we're going to cover shortly. I could swear on my life that I put it in the trailer. Could not find it anywhere in the trailer, so don't know what happened to it. Got sucked into the vortex. But anyways, Reyes came through as my hero. He made a quick run and grabbed that. But the reason I'm telling you this is we're a little bit tight on time on filming now. So I went ahead and already vacuumed out as far as the mats go around the seats. So, you know, Reyes is gonna show you around here on the floors. It's already cleaned out. I don't feel that I need to tell you guys how to vacuum a floor. It's pretty basic one-on-one detailing there. You point the sucky end at the dirt and it'll suck up the floor. So you guys get that. I did wipe down everything on the interior already as well. I used P&S interior, which is the cloth. I like to dampen the cloth just a little bit before I spray the P&S on there. Here in Vegas, it's so dry that your cloth will dry out very, very quickly. So it's better to start off with an already wet cloth and then just add a little product to it. And you can go through the whole car with minimal product. Quality of the interior in this, it's actually pretty nice compared to some of the older Tesla models. It's a mix of like a vegan leather throughout. The floor mats, these particular floor mats, I don't know if Reyes can show you down here, they're actually super easy to work with. They're easy to vacuum. There was actually dirt and a little bit of pet hair and some other stuff. It all came out really, really easy. There's a couple little specks on there that I'll take out at the very end when I do a little perimeter sweep. But for the most part, I use P&S interior on everything on the inside, except for the glass, of course, which, you know, we're gonna do that. The glass cleaner, I put a couple towels over the windshield in here because, you know, it's the almost the second week of October, and it's somehow still triple digits out here, guys. It's really crazy that it's still this hot this time of year. So we put some towels over the windshield to cut the heat down a little bit. And that being said, we're gonna jump out to the exterior of the vehicle now, and I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks on that stuff, okay? Let's go. Okay guys, so we're getting ready to do the exterior of the vehicle now. A lot of things you may have heard is, you know, these vehicles, you shouldn't get them wet, they could rust, blah, 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 right? Very important that you don't use just standard tap water when washing stainless steel, especially the water here in Vegas is really bad, has a lot of minerals in it, and it can cause some staining on the stainless steel. We're using deionized water. That's what I would recommend if you're going to clean the stainless steel. Now, you will see some different stains and stuff like that on the stainless steel here. You know, a lot of people think that these are starting to rust. What it actually is there's stuff from the road, like brake dust, stuff like that, that's on the highways that will get onto the actual vehicle, and then that will react with the stainless steel. So it gives it like a rust effect. It's not necessarily the stainless steel itself rusting. If you do come across parts like that, it can be removed with like an iron remover, or I'm gonna show you at the end, after I wash this, another method that you can use to take out some of those stains as well as remove some of the fingerprints. Like you see, these are notorious for people grabbing these here because there's no handles, you know, to open the doors. You just push that there and then grab. But even still, it's kind of a weird design. You still have to kind of grab this, and there's always going to be fingerprints here. This may actually be layers of your skin because this material is so hot to touch. It's the equivalent of touching like a frying pan on the stove. Even right now, this is October, not the hottest time of year. We're at maybe 105 degrees outside. And this is so hot. It's hotter than any black paint that I've ever worked with, or just anything, right? So I can't even imagine this in July or August out here when it's 115, 120. You can't touch it for more than a couple seconds. That being said, I'm not going to just go and spray foam directly on this because it's super hot right now. It's not ideal to be working on this in the direct sunlight like we are. Pretty much midday sun, guys. So ideally, if you can, you want to be working on this early in the morning, later in the day, or when you have some shade. But we're out here in the real world. Mobile detailers, we don't have access to a shop, right? So sometimes we're going to be forced to detail in these conditions. So I want to show you guys that it can be done in these conditions. A lot of people constantly ask me, can you detail in direct sun? Can you detail in these hot temperatures? How does it work? So that's what we're here to do today, guys. This is a real world scenario. I'm here to tell you that it can be done. I have been doing it for over a year now in the Vegas heat in the middle of summer, just about every vehicle that you can think of. And I've always had good results at the end. I haven't had any issues. But you have to know what you're doing. You have to follow a process, and you have to be pretty methodical about it. You can't just go lackadaisical like you would any vehicle in the cold weather or the shade. You have to work efficiently, effectively, and you have to work quickly. So to get started, we're gonna spray it down with water, deionized water. We're gonna cool down the panels, okay? Guys, after cooling down the panels, you know, these panels aren't like cold to the touch or anything now, but we probably just dropped the temperature down a good 20 degrees on the panels, which is really, really a big difference. We're gonna foam it up real quick. So we're gonna work on the sunny side first and get that rinsed off as quickly as possible. The shade's gonna give us a little bit more time to work with. So we start with the sun side first. One of the tools I like to use is the mitt on a stick. I like this one because it has the handle and I can just hang it on my trailer real easy. There's a lot of different ones out there as far as the options go, but I highly recommend having this because it makes doing the top surfaces much easier. Aside from that, you're gonna be working on a 3-step ladder, which means you're constantly gonna have to be moving it over. That's very time consuming. When you're working in temperatures like this, time is important. So the less time you have messing around with that stuff, the better. This is a deceptively large vehicle too, guys. I don't know how many of you have had the chance to detail these yet or have seen them in person, but it is a really long vehicle. It's a tall vehicle. It's just a large vehicle. Another thing you want to be careful of when you're washing these is these edges along the metal are very, very sharp. And when you come to seams like this, you can see how that is just slightly elevated from that one. You don't want to be running your hand down this and catch something like that. For one, it'll tear your mitt if you're washing with a wash mitt, but if you actually catch your hand on it, I've seen detailers out there lose their fingers and horrible accidents working on Cybertrucks, so just be very careful. I'm joking, guys, I haven't seen anyone lose their fingers, but it is very sharp, so you do want to be careful on that. Another thing is, I don't know if you guys have seen this wiper. This is all one wiper blade right here. It's crazy heavy, it's huge, just a massive wiper blade to work around. It's really important to clean the tonneau cover here too, guys, because the way that this tonneau cover operates, right, is if you come around the back of the truck, there's a roller inside this unit here that rolls this tonneau cover up. So if this has dirt on it at all, when it goes through those rollers, there's like a flap in there, and any sand or dirt, it causes scratches all the way down this. I've seen it to where when it rolls through there, it'll make these lines like you see here. This is just my finger making these lines, but you'll see them when they're all scratched up. That's from these tonneau covers when they're dirty, getting rolled up through there. So you want to keep those clean at all times. Another area that you guys want to be careful for, be mindful of, is there's a gap here, right? So be careful when you're washing this. This under edge is very sharp as well. In some spots, almost like a knife blade. So don't run your fingers through there. If you want to put the mitt in there, maybe get it in there like that. But be very careful on this stuff. I'm telling you guys, when you feel it in person and you see it in person, some of those edges are really, really sharp. And I could see that definitely potentially causing some damage. All right, so we're gonna give this side a rinse real quick because it's hitting the direct sun. It's already starting to dry. So we want to keep that wet. Get that soap off of there. Okay guys, so I'm just curious, how many of you detailers out there have had a chance to detail a Cybertruck so far? Have you detailed one with a stainless steel? Has it been one that's been wrapped? Just curious to know. I know I have a few people that have reached out to me that like expressed that they were a little bit nervous or wary to work on one, you know, and from my experience, it's not really anything that's too difficult. You shouldn't be that concerned with it. As long as you're following the right process and the right steps, you're gonna be okay. Do a little research on it first. Make sure that you're using deionized water. That's a big one. Do not use tap water, at least Vegas tap water. I don't know about other states, but stainless steel does not react well to tap water with the minerals in it. So I would highly recommend deionized water. And you know, just follow the steps, and it's really not that complicated, guys, but let me know what you think. I'm curious to see how many of you guys out there have worked on the Cybertrucks and what your experience has been with it so far. So we got the exterior pretty much cleaned up, guys. One thing that you don't want to forget is you want to lower the tailgate here, and then you want to lift up this tonneau cover, right? There's a little back window underneath this that you want to clean the outside when that goes all the way down. See there? And sometimes this can be dirty in the bed too. So this one's not too bad. If it were dirty, I would hose all of this stuff out. But what I am gonna do is grab a wash mitt and we're just gonna hit that back window. You don't wanna just leave that, and then if the inside's clean, when they roll that down, they're gonna see dirt on the outside. So this little strip here, you just wanna give that a little wipe, clean that up. And when you guys are in here, you'll see the roller in the flap that I was talking about in here that goes against the tonneau cover. So you just want to make sure there's no dirt along here or anything, because when that does roll, it can scratch that. So just make sure that's nice and clean. Give it a little rinse. Okay guys, so very important, you do not want to use an air tool to dry stainless steel. Don't use a blower, don't use your air tool. That can cause a reaction with the stainless steel. So what you want to do is just use a soft microfiber. This is a Dreadnought, one of my favorite towels. Super absorbent, super soft. It doesn't scratch the vehicle. Sometimes you can get through a whole vehicle just off of one towel. If you guys want to check these out, I'll leave them in the link below. Check them out. What kind of towels do you guys like to use? Or you have any specific drying towels that work for you? Let me know what your thoughts are. Do any of you guys use the Dreadnought towels? What are your thoughts on them? Very light pressure when drying too. You don't have to scrub on this. You're just letting the towel do the work. Basically just take the water off, not swirl marks, no wax on, wax off, just straight lines. Remember what I said about the seams here. Be careful with your towels. That's where it'll usually snag right there. You don't want to rip up your expensive towels or your hands. Okay guys, so now that the exterior of the vehicle is dry, what I like to do is I like to open the doors, just kind of go let the door jambs dry out, So to open the doors on these, you'll notice there's like a little white button here. You just tap that, that's gonna pop that open. And again, this is where you get the fingerprints on these. People grab them like this. Kind of a weird design, but I just hook a couple fingers back there. Let these open up. I'm gonna dry out the door jambs, but with a different towel. I have a door jamb towel, so let me grab that. So on the interior, we still have the glass left to do, and then we're gonna go move to the exterior and we'll go over the stainless steel with you. You may have noticed the windshield on these are a monster windshield, and you're probably looking at these going, how in the hell am I gonna clean all the way down inside there, right? Here's what I suggest. You're gonna need one of these tools like this to get it up in there and clean that section. Right? If you don't have one of these, you're gonna have a hard time. It's still possible. I have done it without it, but it's very difficult. You pretty much have to stand up inside and kind of like contort your body down in there. You know, it's just not ideal. Maybe Reyes could do it since he's been taking like Zumba classes every week. He's probably flexible and can get in there. But for me, these old guys, it's not so easy. So you can see what I'm talking about here, guys. Look at how deep this is. That's my arm. I'm a little over 6 feet tall and I have fairly lengthy arms, not like stretch or anything, but this tool comes in really handy, not just for this windshield, but for some of those back windows that are really tough to get into. I highly recommend picking up one of these. If it's something you guys don't have and you're considering, I'll put the link in the description below for you guys if you want to check it out. So there's a lot of glass in this Cybertrucks, guys. If you look around, you got pretty much glass all over the place. So, you know, just start with a fresh, clean towel. Don't use a reused towel on this stuff. Just gonna make your job harder. Always start with a fresh towel on glass, and then you can cycle them down from there. For the screens, I like to just put a tiny, tiny bit on the towel, not a lot. Super light pressure. You don't have to push hard on this. Just let the microfiber do its thing. I'm barely even touching this. So again, don't go Mr. Miyagi, no wax on, wax off. Straight lines, one direction, just like that. And that's really all it needs, guys. It's just, all you're doing is taking off fingerprints here. So it's not that complicated. You can see the screen is nice and clean now, all dialed in. Oh, almost forgot that little mirror. If you have the tonneau cover closed, it's very dark. You might not even see it back here or realize that it's glass, but there is a glass strip back here. So you want to clean both sides of that. Make sure it's nice and streak free. That way when they look through the rear view, you don't see anything there. If you've done any Tesla, not just the Cybertruck, but when you close the doors, you're gonna see the window does that, right? And it goes up and it's gonna leave like this little strip here. There is a way you can prevent that. I wish they would just make a little setting and switch on there and the screen would be 10 times easier. But you can put something in the door here, like a little card or something that will prevent the windows from going up or down. I don't personally do that. The reason being is I just don't want to take the chance of something breaking in there or malfunctioning and then having to deal with that. Somebody saying, oh, you messed with my window, now it's not working. It's just not worth the risk on that. For me personally, I just close up the doors. I'll reach across from either the inside, and the outside and just get those little drips later. Yes, it's a little bit more work, but again, I prefer to go on the side of safety and then rather than potentially breaking something in there. What do you guys do? Do you put a card in there or do you guys reach around and wipe the little strip later? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so we're using our tool again to get down in that hard to reach crevice down there. This thing's really a lifesaver when it comes to doing this windshield, guys. And if you don't have one, you're gonna see what I mean. What a pain in the ass it is to get down there without it. And I didn't have one of these the first time I did one, and it was a pain in the ass. You have to like contort your body into all kinds of weird positions to get down in there. The nice thing about these too is these remove. You could just take these on and off and you wash them just with your microfibers, or you can buy replacements for those and just get new ones too. So easy to use. These windows aren't too bad. There's not a lot of dirt. It's more just that since it's a new vehicle, a lot of new vehicles will have what they call off-gassing, where the dashboards release like a vapor almost that kind of condensates on the inside of the window and it leaves this film, almost like a smoke film or like a vape film kind of, but it's just because it's a new vehicle and it's the material's just releasing a gas on the inside of the glass, but it comes off fairly easy. Okay guys, so now that we finished washing and drying the exterior of the vehicle, we're gonna go into a little bit about how to remove stains like fingerprints, things like that, or just even there's stains in the actual stainless steel here. Like, I don't know if Reyes, you can zoom in on the hood here and just see like this stuff here, like that, or like these. I'm unable to get those out with your standard product. So I got something for stainless steel. It's called Barkeeper's Friend. This is actually designed to clean stainless steel. It removes stains, tarnish, rust, right? So what we're gonna do with this, you give the bottle a good shake, and then we're just gonna put a tiny bit. You can use an applicator. I just grabbed a microfiber towel since I know that's something that all of you guys will have on you. Not everyone carries applicators around. So we're just gonna put a little bit of this on the towel, and we'll start with this stain up top here just to show you guys how it works. This has a slight abrasive in it, almost like a polish, but it's very, very fine. So we're just gonna rub that on there lightly, not too much pressure. And you can see how that just took that right off of there, right? So now all we have to do is just remove the Barkeeper's Friend off of there, the polish. But while I have this on here, I'm gonna try it on a couple more spots. Like you see down here, these are some different stains. And you can see this just takes that stuff right off. It gives it a really nice like shine again to it. And we're just gonna give this a wipe with another clean microfiber towel. This isn't gonna take it all the way off. This is just gonna get the majority of it off here. Okay. Same thing down here. And ideally you wanna be doing this more in the shade, but you know, we're in the sun. It's not midday sun anymore, but the panels are still a little hotter than ideal. Now, so those are the two towels that you used so far. And you want to have one more clean towel. I just use different colors here, guys. They're pretty much the same stuff, but just so I don't get them mixed up. And now what we're going to use is, this is just your standard Windex. It's original. You can use it with ammonia, without ammonia. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to spray a tiny bit of this on here, and then we're going to wipe that off like so. Light pressure. You don't have to go too hard. But you can see that stain that was in the stainless steel is completely gone now, right? And I just flip it over here to take off the rest of the streaks. So you can see that just removed that stuff right out of there. Down here, just gonna hit that with a little bit of that. And you can see this has taken out pretty much all of those stains. This is actually a scratch in the metal. That's not a stain. That's from like a rock chip or something. So that's damage to the stainless steel. Nothing's gonna fix that. But you can see here all the stains on the side that I didn't do in the stainless. And you can see how that just took that completely out on this side, right? So pretty simple, guys. These products are not expensive. You can pick this stuff up at most stores. Windex you can get just about anywhere. This we just picked up at Home Depot. We also have the link to it in the Amazon links below if you want to check it out. You can use the link to take you there and pick some up. But I would highly recommend, if you're going to be working on stainless steel Cybertrucks, good to have this on hand and this on hand. It will take out the stains as well as the fingerprints. Just wanted to share that with you guys. One of the things that I picked up along the way. Let me know if you guys have any experience working with this or with this on the Cybertruck. It's worked well for me. Curious to hear if you guys have any products that you've used that maybe have stood out for you, that you have really good results with. Let us know, drop it in the comments below. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, so that was basically my breakdown of how I detail the Tesla Cybertruck. Let me know, you guys, your thoughts and opinions on everything. Are there things that you do differently, different products that you use on the stainless or just on the Tesla in general? I put the links of everything that we used in the videos down below, so if you guys want to check that out, check the links out below, and we'll see you in the next video.